ba ba da bee ba da da dee da da do. La da dee da da dee da da dee da da do. Bada bee bada bee bada bee ba ba boo. Bada bee bada bee bada bee ba boo. Da da dee da da dee da da dee da da do. Da da dee da dee da dee da do. Da da dee da dee da dee da do. Ooh. Da da dee da dee da do. Da da dee da dee da. Pink, welcome. Good to see you, Pink. This is a bit of an annoying chair, actually. I thought it'd be fun. I thought it was colourful and cool, but hey, monkey time. But unfortunately, it's actually just a wee bit niggly. But don't worry, I have another cushion over here, which will be even better because I can lean forward on it. Da da dee da da dee da dee da do. Da da dee da dee da dee da do. All right, pretty cool chair. It was a cool chair, Pink, but unfortunately, it's just a little bit, lean backy when you be 40. How am I doing today? Oh, thanks, Jay Jr. Thanks, Surreal. All right, guys, I got some fun stuff. We got this waterfall here to keep working on today. I think we're getting close to conclusion, but I'm just not quite sure what conclusion looks like yet. And so we'll keep dabbling. And then we've got our farmer. I think we'll finish him off today. We have our cowboys. That's our baby blue colours. So that's what we're going to start the waterfalls with. And then we have a special surprise, which if I have energy, will leap on. Definitely a good amount of choices. Oh yeah. But I'll tell you what, here's our fun picture if we get round to it. This will get you excited, Pink. It's a wild one. I've got the board ready. And I have this. Are you ready? This is our wild card. Aku Aku from Crash Bandicoot. So, if we find the time, we will do Aku Aku. The interior of your home. Cheers, Maximilius. Jeepers. We could possibly do something like that. But that'd be a lot of colour to see all the time. But I like where your head's at. It's an exciting idea. Hey Ashley, welcome back. And Jay Jr., have a great day. That's all good. Passing on through. I love that. That's totally golden with me. I'd use commercial interior paint, Pink. And what you'd do is you'd go for like a forest scape, where you'd have a theme that you'd have pictures of all around the house and all the walls, and every time you grab the colour, you wouldn't stay in one spot. You'd grab a container of it, and then you do a lap around the entire house with it, looking at a different picture every 10 minutes and just applying the colour. And so the whole house wouldn't have just a whole series of pictures, it would have this universal continuity to it. But it would just take a long time. And you'd have to have someone following you around with the camera. Yeah, studio's pretty fun today. I've closed off the other one for a bit. For some reason, the gesso that I was using started getting a bit stinky. So I'm like, I don't want to get lightheaded in the old studio. I'd prefer just to open up a different room for a studio in the interim, which is this area here, while the studio is out. So just protecting your noggin. That's the important thing here. That's the important thing. All right. That's a pretty good coffee. Nothing to be frowned upon. Okay, pastel aquamarine. Yeah. What else we got going on there? Sort of a, yeah, Sharma, welcome back. Been a grueling night. Not long finished work, yeah. Long nights. I can sympathize. Well, I'll tell you what, Sharma. Let's see if I can be an absolute fool here today and possibly cheer you up a wee bit. You are more than welcome to be here. More than welcome. Lost the lid. See, I'm not going to let that get me down. I'm going to find it later. Right, simple caliper to start with. Very simple. Are we going to use binder medium? Or are we going to use something a little different? I'm going to splash out here. Listen. I like these punnets, these golden punnets. This is, it's not perfectly opaque. It's got a little bit of, it'll dry a little bit cloudy, but it has less gloss in it, a little bit, but semi-gloss. It says semi-gloss, it's more like 20% gloss, so it's very, very mild. And then it's thicker, so the way it lands on the canvas is much, much more obvious, leaving texture everywhere. Are you done with Abraham Lincoln? Hey Cole, yes I am. I need to add just a little bit more of a white coat to a few areas to highlight, but pretty much done. So you get in touch with me via Instagram and I'll send through some shots, or after I get it framed and things, I'll upload some shots to Instagram to the story and things anyway, like Alexander the Great. I just haven't seen the framer today. I see him probably in 2 or 3 days. So Abe can get framed and probably, hopefully, I'll take him in the same time as the Cowboys and the farmer and do a series of framing units together just to make it easier for them because they sort of know what I like. You know what I like. Until he late had a pretty face. Yeah, of course. Give me 1 moment. I'll show you Abe, but I just need to get the few of these colours out of here. And ponytails are hanging down, a wiggle and a walk and a giggle and a talk and a make the world go round. There ain't nothing in the world like a blue-eyed girl to make me act so funny, make me spend my money, feel real loose like a long-necked goose. Oh baby, that's what I like. Okay, grab Abe over here. So. Here's our finished product of Abe. I'll bring that over here. And I think you'll be able to see a little bit with the light as it shimmers there. You'll notice these areas should be slightly more matte. I've put a very, very thin coat of a matte spray on it. So it's got a sort of a foiling, a gold foiling. So these areas will glisten with gloss. These areas will have more of a matte effect to make the whole thing really pop off the page more. If I can just sort of arc it there a little bit. Yeah. And then what I need to do is get a little bit more of that gloss gel I've just added onto the tray there with a teeny bit of iridescent white through it, and then add that into these areas that have been textured, just so it's not just raw slapped on texture. There's more of a layering to it. Bring it in there, there we go. Bring it in, bring it in. There we go. Thanks, Cole. Yeah. With Abraham Lincoln, the most important part about his face to me is the cheekbones. So we've tapered the head very nicely there, massive open space over here, and then it immediately slashes down in a sort of Abe-ish kind of way. He's not made too, his beard wasn't made hugely prevalent, and I like that, because sometimes his facial hair is the thing that stands out most in the photos, whereas we had the power to really emphasize the cheek hair, so that was fun. All right. And if you weren't here for Abe, you'll know that, you might not know that we've used 16 pigments for the 16th president. That was the theme. That was the goal. Now, with Abe, we're going to frame finish. It might work really, really well. It might sell as an original. There's a few people who are interested. But if it doesn't, if it goes and you wanted the original, or if you can't afford the original, totally okay for both of them. There'll be prints available. So there'll be A4s, A3s, A2s, A1s. I typically, to keep a lot more of them available, I grab A4s because I also think I haven't got endless walls, and so I keep putting A4s everywhere because you can sort of have more. Is my go. Hey Hannah. Thanks, Pink. And hello to Victoria. You missed nothing. I haven't even touched the canvas yet. I've just been yarning. Right, waterfalls. Here we go. Here we go. We're getting ready to go. Just gonna move that a little bit more there. There we go. Okay. Can I commission a painting for my old outhouse, bro? Christy, of course you can. Of course you can. Link in the bio, select commission, and then you can tell me where in the world you are and upload the picture and everything. So that's really important because that way I can add the shipping costs in there already and things. So it makes it way better. Otherwise you'll end up thinking, yep, I want a painting. You'll go to buy it and the shipping costs will be like ridiculous. But I can factor everything in. Typically though, these are quite good for shipping because since they're on hardboard, a masonite texture, what happens is they're actually quite skinny, so the volume's not too high. And when the volume's not too high, I can frame it and ship it quite securely, as long as you protect it, obviously, but it doesn't need a box as thick as a canvas usually does, because shipping a canvas needs to have the whole front protected. It's like a stretched out kite. Hello, Steve. How you doing? How you doing? You've come at the right time this time, Steve. You have come right at the start. Right at the start. So, la da da dee da 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 dee da. Do you read me? I read you. I think I read you. Sorry if I don't stay long. It's 1 a.m. and I'm up in a few hours. That's all good, Sharma. I appreciate you popping by. And I'll try not to bang any plates. So if you fall asleep while you're watching, totally all good. I won't make any loud noises. But if I laugh and wake you up, don't blame me. I did my best. Well, blame me. I'm just sorry. That's all. Can I paint a unicorn in a painting? A sound of porcelain. Yeah, banging, that's the problem. That is the problem. Yes, I do, Ellie. You're very persistent. Here we go. And thanks, Nathan. Appreciate you. You absolute champion. John Cena, yeah, he's behind me the entire time. I love all those memes about John Cena being invisible. I find them very funny. There we go. Lots of gel gloss in here. That's, all right, and we're gonna make sure we stand up nice and straight too. Temptation just to slouch over. We're not gonna do that. We're gonna stand straight. Dun, dun, dun. The buffering again? You're kidding. No way. Can't be running into buffering again. Yup. Oh, yuck. Ay, ay, ay. Wondering, how do we fix that? The ugly world of buffering. The good vibes can mess with Wi-Fi. That's quite funny, actually. Good vibes messes with cell phone signals. Yeah, that's what's happening, guys. Stop being so happy. Gift, that's a great name, Gift. Especially if you're going around gifting. It's a great name for it. Da-da-da-dun-dun, da-da-da-dun-dun, da-da-da-dun-dun-dun-dun. La-da-da-dee-da, da-da-da-dee-da. God, I'd like to get a bit of tune stuck in my head, but anyway, we can't pick what gets stuck in our head, guys. Just is what it is. Where you learned that? That's what we want to do, Steve. Warm, sunny, happy. That's the goal here. Give you that serene Washington waterfall feeling. I think these waterfalls are in Washington, I forget. Lots of gloss gel coming down. Give us that trickling water. La da da dee da 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 dee da da do. La da da dee da 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 dee da lee da da do. La da da dee da da dee da da dee da da do. There we go. Thanks, Todd. Appreciate that. All those colours make the blue so refreshing. Yeah. It certainly wants to have a hydrating feeling to it. As if you feel like if you were able to drink it or be around it, feels, what's the word for feeling like you're around water? Is there a word? Wish we had a word for that. The fact it looks like a waterfall. Yeah, it's true. It's true. It's a balancing act between having a waterfall show up and keeping that abstract wilderness inside the painting. It's a real balancing act, and it's tough to tell. Tough to walk that line. Probably Zen. Da 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 dee da, la da da dee da, da 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 dee da da do. Your heart rate and blood pressure is lower in blue colours. Is that correct? Wow. I did not know this. It is new info for moi. Just adjust this a little bit. There we go. Perfect. Hey, Matthias. Color psychology is a real thing. Real thing. That's why a lot of fast food chains are always that hot red. That's why some prisons paint their prison walls pink to lower aggression. And yellow, happiness, I think. Green, nature. Choose colours for the interiors. That's why airline choose those colours for. Oh, interesting. All right, Stephen, with the fun facts. Well done. Well done. Probably a question you ask all the time, but is your preference? I like both. I like both. Preferences to oils or acrylics, and I've got to say both. When it comes to choosing which one's the best, there's pros and cons to both. That's like saying, what's it like saying? The point is, they're very good in their own personal ways. Oils are very stinky though. So we couldn't use oils right now. this is an acrylics room, but acrylics dry faster. So you can spend longer periods of time on acrylics, at least with my style. So there's that. Even worse than acrylic? I don't know. Think it's been sold and it's updated. Which one's that? Is that the Cassie's Joy? There's still prints available of Cassie's Joy, but that is sold. It's in Washington. The smell. Yes, the smell, indeed. That's why we've swapped studios briefly too, guys, because the smell was the one with the elephants in. Ah, thanks, Sharma. Yes, elephants is gone, and the prints are also sold out, so. But I am talking with Russell, the man who commissioned the painting, about the possibility of getting some more pictures off him. Not of the same area. We wouldn't do Zambezi River twice in order to always make sure that picture was special for him. But other pictures of Africa, Johannesburg, the wilderness and areas, and we'll create some other pictures to make more prints available of African wilderness. So that's inbound. He's just waiting for the appropriate picture. And obviously just enjoying his picture that he's currently got. So they're on the way though. Expect more Africa pictures on the horizon. So many paints, so many paints. So these are my usual pigments that you see down the table there. There is 32 of them, there should be. If you see more than 32, there's some double ups. I've got a couple of things I shouldn't have two of, but I do. Hey Seb, how you doing? Hello friend. That's a great username because I can say hello friend, and it's both your username and your and what I'd like to say. It's like a great double up. Ba-da-ba-bee-ba, ba-da-ba-bee-ba, ba-da-ba-bee-ba-ba-ba-boo. Ba-da-ba-bee-ba, ba-da-ba-bee-ba. Okay. Gonna dip for a sec. Yeah, go for gold, Vic. Hopefully, with a bit of luck, Vic, we'll be here for a while anyway, so you will not miss out. There we go. There we go. Yeah, allows you to spot them easily as well. Depending on the paint tubes, sometimes the paint tubes don't have a whole lot of colour that makes them really pop on the colour that makes them pop when you look down at them, like this tube here, for example. Practically invisible what colour that is. But if you put a stroke of paint on it, once you open it, then you can tell forevermore. So that's a fun way to do it. There we go. That in there. Hey, will the art piece you're painting be up for sale? Yes, this one here is not available yet because it is still being painted and will change drastically. I hate a lot of the time with these creative pieces that go in any direction, I won't let people buy them until they're finished. And the reason that's the case is they typically change so drastically. And so I want you to love where it ends up rather than where it may have started. So if you're interested, stay tuned or reach out to me and tell me, and I can make sure I keep you posted. But yes, it's available. Yeah, it's like a doctor's office almost. And I saw someone's subscription was running out in 48 hours. It's totally all good. Just want you to know that I thank you so much to the end of this planet for first off supporting me in the first place. You absolute champion. I love that to bits. was talking about it yesterday and the day before, but it does really warm my soul to know that there's people out there who want to show that level of support. That's just incredible. There we go. Hello, my gal. Right, a bit more blues through. So it's aquamarine blue spliced into our titanium whites to get the sort of pastel-y colour. But fundamentally, it has that aqua colour in it, which means it represents the colour of this waterfall beautifully. Yeah, the key to doing blues as well is sometimes you can have the one blue and you're white and you're black and you can think, yeah, that's enough. But you need about 5 different hues of blue. Really splash out in those hues. And then by combining all those hues, you get a deeper, richer colour palette. So these right here, we've got about 5 colours of blues. Even though it just looks blue, it has that depth and that cascading look because of those 5 different pigments that bounce over each other. That's important. Can you show us the orange painting in the background? Oh, that one there. That one's going to come up shortly. That one's coming up. Don't worry, you won't miss out. You will not miss out. That is our cowboy shot. 2 cowboys. And that is the reason why we're dabbling with blues already. Sharma, Louise, Malures. See you later. Thanks for joining in, and thanks for being here at 1 a.m. That's no small feat. I appreciate you. And sorry you had a hard day at work, but you know what? I hope we improved it a little bit in this little painting studio today. And I'll see you next time. Maybe in 6 hours if you're up early. I'll still be here. No. Kluber, not a perfect Abraham Lincoln. In fact, if we did our job right, if we were chaotic enough, it's the most imperfect Abraham Lincoln we've ever seen. Every single stroke not correct, but with all the best of intentions. So when they come together, we're able to see a picture. He's on all the time now. Jaden, not all the time. I try and get here as often as I can. But often enough, right? Often enough. La da da da, la doo dee da da, doo dee da da, la da 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 da. Well, if they ever remake The Penny, they should hire you for the inspo. What's The Penny? The Penny. Sounds lovely, but I've never heard of it. Hey Stav Don, how you doing? And Nut, welcome to the team. Welcome to the team. It's 100 of $1 and it's made out of copper, sir. It's 100 of $1 and it's made out of copper. Sounds like a riddle. A riddle that I'm not fully understanding. There we go. Here we are. Putting these colours out there. Oopsie daisy, silly me. I never started my time lapse. I'm an idiot. There we go. And then, oh, thanks guys, appreciate that. From America, welcome. Just some comments coming in there on YouTube, team. I'm saying that's what a penny is. Ah, yes. Yes, indeed. Now I'm following. Also, guys, if you ever miss one of these lives and you want to catch up on it, wherever you are in the world, these are always available. Well, they will be available from now on YouTube. So the replays are on YouTube. It's a replay, but it's not the exact replay. It's the YouTube live, which was just right beside the TikTok live, which then acts as the TikTok replay. So people on YouTube are hearing me talk to invisible ghosts. But that's the best way to make everyone happy. And hello, Shelby. Great name, by the way. Not the Shelby, but a Shelby. Well, you're the Shelby in your story, and that's the important thing. What is the time over here? The time is 12:36. And hey, Lizzie, welcome. Sorry, I saw that pop up before, but I was in my own little universe doing my own little thing. You're very tall. No, I'm not, actually. I fit very well into airplane seats. Lucky me. I'm 5'9", and I reckon that is the perfect in-between height. You know, if you've ever played Crash Bandicoot, and you've got the Tiny, who's got the speed of like No Future Knee Problems, another great one. Pink, another great one. You've got Tiny, who's got great speed. You've got Coco, who's got great handling. You've got someone else who's got great acceleration. But then you've got Crash Bandicoot, who's right down the middle, all level stats. And that level stat nature is why Crash Bandicoot's actually one of the best choices for Crash Team Racing. Yeah, people like Tiny, but you can never go wrong with Crash. And so when we talk about actually being like anywhere between 5'2" and 5'9", this is a great place to be, because actually you have versatility, comfort while traveling, more opportunities to buy shoes in op shops. Now, yes, it doesn't go short, better. It goes middle of the range, middle of the bell curve, and then there's perks on each side. So for example, if you're short, airplane seats, environmentally conscious because you use up less fabric for your clothes. Eat less, so your bills aren't as expensive. You always think, if your partner's going to be tall, you think, oh, that's fantastic, they're tall, or something like that, if that's what people have in their heads. And then all of a sudden, they get hit with these huge grocery bills, wondering, why is life so expensive now? Because big person eat a lot of food. But if you've got someone who's 5'2", guess what? They eat less and look the same. Perfect. So they've got more money to spend on you. There's a lot of reasons, a lot of compelling reasons. I don't know what the whole fad is around height though. It bemuses me. We need more terms to define personalities. Like we do it a little bit. We do like Chads, Golden Labrador, Golden Retrievers. We do like, people pleasers, etc. We need to steer more into that. Not so objectively, but in the way that we actually start valuing characteristics of people via their personality traits, not by their appearances. I like them short? No. Honestly, I like personality. I like people who are honest about who they are and who aren't ashamed to be who they are. I find people who have vitality and people who want to pursue their dreams, I find them absolutely infectious. And I want more of them in my life so I can get more of them around me so I can better pursue my dreams. People who care. People who genuinely feel empathy for others. That is the coolest trait in the book. I mean, and I say that because that's the linchpin. If you can't feel empathy for other human beings, or if you don't genuinely care about people you don't like, not just people you know, not family members and loved ones, think people you don't know. Do you sympathize and feel empathy for people you don't know? And if you do, That's a cool trait. But I don't really want to associate with people who couldn't care less about the pain or the suffering or the joy that someone they don't know is or isn't feeling. I think that's really important. And you know that's the most important trait because if someone didn't have that trait, you wouldn't associate with them. So in that sense, that's the linchpin, isn't it? That's the be all end all. It's like seeing if they're tall. I reckon the best trick you want to do is if you want to figure out if you like someone or not, and you're going on a first date, book at the restaurant and ask the waiter to make a mistake on the table and see how they react. Like, tell the waiter to spill a drink on the date shirt or something. I don't know. That's probably too manipulative. But what I'm saying here is, how do they act in a situation where someone else has made an immediate mistake on them? What's their reaction to it? Is it oh, it's totally fine. No, I get it. I'll clean it up. Ha 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 ha. Look, now my shirt's all stained. It's all good. Let's move on with our dinner. Let's have fun. Or is it an angry response immediately? Bring that person down. How dare you? You're supposed to be subservient in the situation. And oh my God, it's ruined now because this was more about the date than about you being on it. And then that'll give you all the information you need to be like, okay, that's what this is. But now I'm not saying pay off waiters to spill drinks on people. I sort of was, but that's manipulative. What I'm saying is those situations can tell you about people. I was reading a really good article about psychology with wait staff, and that people sometimes disassociate from thinking that actually wait staff are people, and it is an underlying indicator of other stuff. So more negative stuff. Anyway, regardless of that, if you go out to dinner with someone, if you are on a date or hanging out with them, even if you go out, read their body language that they give to the waiters. How do they treat them? How do they act? Same with it. Yes, bang on. Anyone who's in service or retail, Steve's 100% right. Service and retail. I say restaurants because I love restaurants. I am. Don't you worry, Lizzie. I'm on top of it, but I appreciate that. Anyone who works in those fields will know, because we actually become amazing at reading people, understanding what people want, and seeing good in people. I can see the comments on the little screen here, so that way you can see the artwork, I can paint, and I can talk and read. So, yeah. Another one too is fast food. If you're going out to do something different and you don't go to a restaurant, cool, go grab some fast food. Now, a great one is when he or she goes to talk to the person behind the counter, do they say, I'd like a this, and this? Like, do they talk to it like a machine and demand their order? Or is their first reaction when they see a person behind the counter, hey? Do they say hello and acknowledge there's an interaction that's about to occur between two human beings? Just that small thing. Hey, hi. Acknowledge the other person and then go on to their order. Cool. Okay. So this is a person who doesn't just see someone's job, position, station, responsibility in a certain situation and just immediately profile them in that and dive on it. That's what you want to be avoiding. Yeah. Industry makes you so, yeah, I bet it does. The most important thing is humans are humans. I think it's so funny. You cannot forget that. And I think the one thing we get caught up in now is we are aware of that, or most of us are aware of that in terms of doing that in day-to-day life with other human beings. We're aware that everyone has feelings. We're aware that everyone matters. But when we get on things like social media, when we get behind a keyboard, when we can't see the person or know of their existence, empirically right beside us, we disassociate. We become cold. We become mean. We become we have more barriers up against that person. So yeah, I think we need to be very careful with how we behave on social media and make sure that, just like in real life, we put love out there, not just barriers and whatever yeah. You see what I'm trying to say. Cheeky socks. Cheeky socks? Cheeky socks. Yes, paintings are for sale. They vary hugely, depending on what you're after. The best way to get a quote is to leap on the link in my bio and fill out the commission form, because then I can put the shipping cost in there too. All the works I do though, they come ready-made, so I don't ship rolled. That's for like Artsy and those other websites if you just want an easy picture. But for me, it arrives as a finished product, with a frame on it in a proper protected box, from the box to the wall. That's the process. That's the process. Right, we're almost done with this color palette, and we'll move on to the farmer's pick. On to the farmer's pick. Not the farmer's pick, sorry. Onto the Cowboys. Onto the Cowboys. Was someone saying something about a collab there too? I missed it. But sounded like fun. I've got to, sometimes I see the comments coming up, but I don't ignore them, I read them. But while I'm in the middle of a rant, I can't stop, otherwise I'll lose my trail of thought. And I'm like, this is a good rant, this is a good place to be. I need to finish this rant. So I try and see the rant through. And then I remember 10 minutes later. Thanks, user, appreciate you. And this is my full-time job. This painting's been on and off for a while. We wanted to do a body of water, and so we've attacked a waterfall, and it's definitely the most psychedelic out of the series of water pictures we've done. And we wanted to capture that serene, peaceful, yet psychedelic cascading of water in the picture. Would I be willing to do a collab with you? That's exciting, Christina. Thanks for hanging around, by the way, and sorry for ignoring you the first time. That's a beautiful thing to say, and yeah, I was mid-rant. So, possibly. I can't say right now, because the problem is, who knows what you do, you know what I mean? Like, if you're involved in the SPCA, which is like animal health over here, or you're a vet, or if you're, looking after children, if you're an educator, like 100%, absolutely. But who knows? You could be involved with something else. So I should in my art show in Nashville and pay you for your time and shipping. Christina, that sounds like a lot of fun. That really does. But since I'm going to be here for a while, and TikTok has this annoying thing where it deletes the comments afterwards, that's a big plus. She writes children's books. I'm like 99% on board after that comment. Now, sorry, what I was going to say was 100%, link in the bio, jump on that, my email's there, get in touch, and let's see if we can figure something out, because that does sound like fun. Like fun. Do. And depending on the country you're in, Christina, you might not even have to worry about shipping. There might be people who actually own paintings nearby you who would be like more than happy to like lend them to a show for a few days or whatever. If you're in New York or Chicago, I've got you covered. But if you're in North Dakota, it's going to be a little bit more tough. But we can still do it. I'm from New Zealand, but my partner is half Aussie, so that's a thing. That's a thing. Children's books. That's so cool. That's fun. Nashville, Tennessee. Nashville, Tennessee. It's been a while, but I think there is a few paintings in Nashville. Definitely in the neighbouring states, but at that point, I'm probably just better to ship from New Zealand. But Nashville, Tennessee. I think there's one or two. I'll need to text some people and be like, hey, you remember that thing that's in your living room? How would you feel about? I'm a little bit off the map. You're off the map. Wreck It Felix. Wait a minute, wasn't it Ralph who was a wrecker? Wasn't it Fix It Felix? Or that's your play. That's the game you're playing. Yeah, that sort of creeps across there like that. Bob Ross. A little bit different from Bob Ross. The big difference between me and Bob Ross is that Bob Ross liked to paint by numbers. And when I say paint by numbers, he'd start off with a very, even though there wasn't a grid on his picture, he started with a plan. So he knew what colours he was going to put down to get what effect at the end. With what we're doing here, there's less of a plan, and we're just approaching it with a paint by chaos style. So paint goes everywhere. It's like rolling dice with every single brush stroke for a result that is truly chaotic. And although when you step back from this painting and maybe blur your eyes a little bit, you see a waterfall, some mountains, and the sun coming down here and kissing those mountains. You don't have this beautiful clarity that Bob had up close. You've got chaos. And so you've got two very, you're getting the same result. You're getting a landscape, but from two very different directions. One's done through careful craft, and the other one's done through chaotic art. And both are correct. There's a place in society for both. But I like chaos. I love, in a world that's got more and more, we've had to fit into more and more boxes and categories, and there's more white walls. It's absolutely fantastic to be able to get a 2D surface and put it on your wall, which is just chaotic expression, feeling, emotion. It sounds cheesy. It always sounds cheesy, guys. Please stare into the cheese. We need to have art like that in our lives. Art can bring out feelings from us. It can make us feel joy, feel sadness, feel positivity, remember a moment in time, connect with a memory. That also sounds fun, Christina. I would love to be involved with a children's book. That would be phenomenal. I've actually, when I'm at night, when I'm thinking about art, I do think about children's books and think that'd be pretty cool. Because when you talk about all these things about what art should be, if you're 40 or 50 and you talk about art as put it on your wall so you can get a small amount of vitality every day from it and let it bring happiness to your life, and why it would be like that without putting up gatekeeping feelings of, without gatekeeping about what art is, trying to give you art. I think people in their 40s and 50s are surprised by that view on art. It'd be great to get ahead of it so the kids who are 2 years old, 3 years old today, 5 years old, 7 years old, 8 years old, 9 years old, can look at art and actually grow up thinking that art is a necessary form of expression to have in their lives. That would be pretty cool. I'm a young artist. Any tips? Mooney Edits. Yes, I have got tips. I'll come and tell you in just a second. I'm just jumping on here because I want to turn this on. Give me just a second. I'm just turning this on. Cool. Just turn that fan down just a little bit. There we go. Perfect. Just getting a little bit crisp in here, so I'm just turning the fan on to cool down. It's called The Man in the Sky. I like. I would love to listen more, but it's 2:45 here. No, I get it. That's totally fine. We might have to grab some more plates eventually, but when we use this thicker semi-gel gloss, it uses itself up far faster and goes stiff. So we have to use it or lose it, basically, with that semi-gel. Right, let's pull down this waterfall pick. We're going to swap off here into a new picture. Screw that one on tight there. Come around here. Just a little bit of blue in that one. There we go. And with me. Down there. And now we're going to do some moving around here. So we're going to put this one down here now. There's our old farmer. Bringing up this one, yay Cowboys. I feel your work would be the best fit for the theme of the book. Well, that sounds pretty cool, Christina. I'm excited. I'm excited to start the conversation and see where it can take us. There we go. Are you only streaming on TikTok? Or are there other ways to watch you? Jan, so TikTok is the main go. TikTok's where you can get it live. TikTok is the one I like, only because I've got so many cool people here now that I've connected with that I choose TikTok. But the replays from TikTok are available on YouTube. So you can always get them on different platforms, but typically the main live's on TikTok. That being said, it is on. It is streamed live onto YouTube at the same time, to be honest. But the stream onto YouTube is this TikTok one where I'm talking. So it feels like a replay. But I check the comments there occasionally. The top comment right now is nice painting from America, which is a lovely thing to say. I appreciate that. Thank you. Now, I'm just going to move this closer. Come a little bit closer, you're my kind of painting. Da 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 da. Let me be very gentle here. There we go. Bring it to there. How are we looking? Fantastic. Come a little bit closer, you're my kind of girl. So big and so strong. All right, like I said, today we are doing our hello, Paul. How we doing? I don't know. Oh. What's that show where maybe Yes Man. Yes Man. Yes Man's one of my favorite movies of all time. And in the movie, they have this moment where they're about to go outside for a bar fight, and Jim Carrey tries to punch someone because he's very drunk and he's all over the show. And the guy looks at him really indignantly and says, "You got the wrong guy." And Jim Carrey's like, "Well, maybe that's your problem. Maybe you need to start being the right guy." And it's funny because in this case here, the guy's completely right, but Jim Carrey's still got a point. Maybe you need to start being the right guy. Jan, where do you get your inspiration from? That's a good question. But it's a hard question to answer because if you had a sportsman, a rock climber, for example, if you had a rock climber who goes all over the world bouldering and you told them, there we go, Greg, how you doing, Greg? I'm doing good, Greg. That's someone on YouTube. So, what was I saying there? If you were talking to someone who did bouldering and you said to them, where does your inspiration come from? The question might not work as well. You'd say, why do you like bouldering so much? Whereas with painters, we typically ask, where did your inspiration come from? When perhaps the question should be, why do you like painting so much? And I say that because I feel like the answer for the two would be very different. if I asked you where you got your inspiration from, I feel like you'd cast around for things that had anything other than then you'd cast around for things that had nothing to do with you, this person, this movement, that thing. But if I told you, why do you love painting? You'd tell me about things to do with you, in terms of, you'd say, I'm this, I'm that, I have this experience, I've done this. And then you'd use those as reasons to why painting was the thing you loved. And I think the latter is the correct answer. I think that's the correct pursuit. So for me, I love these colored liquids. I love putting it on a 2D surface. I love using these rudimentary tools to make a picture. I love the fact that I think I can capture a little bit of feeling or a little bit of something in these wild, weird strokes of paint. And I love it when I can see that connection occur in someone else. That little moment that tells me, yes, you're on the right track. You are connecting with people. You are creating more vitality through the picture. This is good. So that's my inspiration, why I love art. Sorry, I missed a comment back there. Filled out everything, looking forward to. Oh, fantastic. Champion Christina, I am excited. And I think you were asking about how long I've been painting for. Ever since I was a baby. Ever since I was a baby. My mother's always put art supplies in front of me. I've been very lucky because my parents supported me doing art the whole way through my life, which made it very easy and almost an expectation on me to do it. And then, advice for young artists. It's funny because I think the advice you give young artists is the same advice that you, let's actually use that brush, would give to anyone, in that if you're going to pursue what you love, make sure you pursue it in a way that you don't end up resenting it. Pursue it in a way that you remember why you loved it. I think a lot of people go through a process where they find what they love, they pursue it with vigor, and once they get there, something changes about it. Maybe they stop doing it the right way. Maybe in their minds it looked different. Maybe they started pursuing it in a way that everyone else told them what it should look like. That's the common one with art. You start making what everyone else wants to see, not what you want to make. And it's not because you shouldn't make something that pleases other people, but when you do that, you deny anyone from really seeing who you are and what you feel. Hey, Victoria, welcome. So find a way to have joy and have fun in what you do, whatever that is. Don't just do it because you have to. Life's too short. And that's such a cheesy statement because you're like, yeah, everyone says that. Life's not that short. I've got 100 years, an infinite amount of time. No, you don't. Figure it out in your head. If you've got 100 years, quick math, if you've got 100 years, and let's say you're 30, let's put it at 30, young artist, 30, 25, who cares? Let's just say 30. And let's say you're going to paint for the next 50 years. So you're going to say 50 years. And inside that 50 years, you plan on producing, let's say, one painting a week. Let's go really easy on you. Let's say once a week, you produce a work of art. That work of art you're going to produce once a week is 52 paintings a week over the course, 52 paintings a year, sorry, over the course of 50 years. So that's 50 times 52. So we're talking, what's that? 50 times 52. Quick math. Who's got me? Is that? It's 2,500 with the 2 there on the end. I'm not sure what that comes out as. But basically, just over 2,500 paintings. Is that correct, guys? That's what you've got left in your life? All jokes aside, is this one a commission? Yes, it is. This one has an owner, and it's a long way from finished. We've got layers to build up in this puppy, because this one actually has a lot more intrinsic detail, since it's a little bit further back. 2,600, thank you. Yeah, the 2, obviously, 2 more 50s. Idiot. So 2,600. That is the entirety of paintings you've got left in your life if you paint one painting a week. And the crazy thing about that The crazy thing about that is for all the people you'd like to connect with and all the different ways you want to do it, you're going to need every single one of those paintings. You cannot afford to do things that don't actually recreate who you are and connect with who you are to show people. What are you going to do? Create cold, heartless works of craft, and then one day you'll break free and start making art properly? Never miss an opportunity to connect with people. Never, ever miss the opportunity to make the picture the way that you want to make it, or run the risk of not connecting with those who should be connecting with it. That is terrifying. The American political grandpa is turning out well. Is that Abe Lincoln? That's quite funny. All right. The political American grandpa. He was Honest Abe, wasn't he? That was what they called him. On which painting did you work the longest? Okay. That question I'm going to answer in a very different way, because I think we asked that question in a way that the time you spend on a painting would justify its value. And the moment I say that, everyone's like, yeah, well, it sort of does. And you can't help but think that. Once one of my paintings goes over 20 hours, I have failed. I've failed because now the strokes that I'm putting on are just overlaying what's already there, ruining, changing, mulching, turning the whole thing to porridge. There's a 20-hour window, but you want to get it on 7 hours. 7 hours is perfect. If you do 7 hours, every stroke, the movement behind it and what it does to the work expresses what you're trying to show. And as you start encroaching on that 15-hour mark, strokes are coming in there trying to save, reallocate, show things. And then once you go over 20, you're in this zone of there's too much going on. It's overwhelming, and you start to lose the connection with other people. So, at least with this style. So the reason I say that is because I had a work that I spent 45 hours on. And you know what? It's possibly the worst work I've ever made. It has no value. It won't leave the studio. It's not good. And the wild thing about that is it took the longest. It received the most in terms of labor effort, and it failed. Because with painting, it's not about the time that you spend adding the brush strokes, but it's about the energy and life behind the brush strokes you did add. And so when we ask the question, why did a red dot sell for this amount? Sometimes with art, there's a whole conversation around why red dot sells like that. But provided you're there for the journey, I would prefer a painting that was made up of 5 brush strokes over 5,000, because the one with 5 brush strokes, provided I was there for it, we would actually have more of a connection through those moments. You could see the movement that backed it up. You could see the everything, the whole story and context behind it. Don't get art confused with craft either, guys. That's important. And people who hate what you do sometimes, if you're a young artist, they might be wanting you to be a craftsman when you're actually an artist. An artist deals in feelings. A craftsman deals in crafts. A craftsman's out there selling a beautiful table with a perfect smooth surface, with a this, with a that, perfect in all the different little ways. And there's nothing wrong with their profession. It's beautiful. They make what the customer wants. It's the most beautiful crafted things out there. And everyone's happy with it. But the artist deals in feelings. The artist has to find people who love the way the artist can express their feelings. You know how you found your wife or your husband or your best friend? Because as you communicate with each other, you have a way of sharing and connecting with your feelings and talking with each other that's meaningful. You can understand each other. And when you speak, you can really get on the same page. And so, in the same way, an artist finds clients, or clients find artists who they feel can express a similar thing. But that conversation can be on the wall forevermore, bringing out that feeling that you both believe could be found within the paintings that you make. That's really special. That's really special. And that also means something very important. That one artist will never be for everyone. But one artist could be for you. And you have to trust yourself too. You have to trust yourself and know that actually, regardless of what everyone else says, this is my artist. And that could be at a farmer's market, that could be on Reddit, that could be on wherever. But you have to trust your own instincts. The challenging part, though, for a client is a lot of the time, artists have a really, really tough time putting themselves out there. You can see their work, but you can't understand who they are. Like, how often, at what point do you call yourself an artist? As soon as you're trying to capture emotions and feelings on in any form to share with other people, you're an artist. Whether it be in the form of audio, whether it be the fact that you'd ask that question means that this world has done some serious gatekeeping on you. Don't let this world gatekeep you. Don't think for a second that you're going to get a degree in art and then all of a sudden view yourself as an artist. No. Like, if anything, you're going to be more insecure and feel more imposter syndrome once you've got the degree than you did originally. But imagine if you went to an artist's page to where they were actually making art and, where their artwork was, and instead of when you clicked on the page, what you normally see, and I'm going to tell you this because you're going to go on pages now of artists and see this. You go on the page and what you see is, Edward Fitz, and that's the name of the artist that we're going to use as an example, and it says impressionist photographer. And already they've allocated themselves into this bucket to say this is my craft, and they've made themselves into a craftsman off the bat. Now, imagine if that same page started with Edward Fitz. I want to make the world a happier place. I'm a family man. I believe in raising my kids more than anything else on the face of this planet. Their smiles brings more happiness to my life than any career decision or anything else in this world could. I use painting as a way to feed my family and to get my kids all I can get them, and this rant goes on. And all of a sudden you're like, you know what? If these paintings look anywhere near like something I want to hang on my wall, then I'm going to buy one. I don't even know what they look like yet, but this Edward guy, I'm on his side, and I want one of those paintings. And a lot of the time, artists hide that beautiful journey. They put it away, and this painful, lethargic, grueling process gets put to the front, and they just show the craft that gets made. And that's not what it is. Is that okay? Can I shout you out? You're in Nashville, Tennessee, and the last time I was there, I had a great time though. Great fun on that main strip, but with all the places playing country music, man, it's fantastic. But don't you worry about a thing. I will get in touch with you via that email, and we will have a wonderful conversation. Touche said, thanks, Steve. But like, this is important, Steve. Like, we've talked about this, and like with Mahalo, for example, me and Steve made Mahalo together. It was a painting done together because without Steve, Mahalo doesn't exist. And I can't sit there in a room and go, Mahalo. What I need is, I need that connection. I need that inspiration from another individual to bring in this unique perspective. And then as an artist, you grab that inspiration and you transmute it. And then you make this 2D surface, which speaks. I meant on my TikTok later, I just live your work and want to share it. Yeah, go for gold. 100%. 100%. But remember too, this isn't all about just painting. This is about everything. This is about life. And like, one of the things when I was younger, I used to, a comment's come here on YouTube real quick. Hey again, I used the plate the first time. I actually liked it. Might start using it more often. All right, you go for gold. Speaking of the plate, I was just about to say that I use a plate because for me, This is my Mr. Miyagi, Karate Kid, wax on, wax off. I spent a lot of time in hospitality when I was younger, and that's why a lot of my examples come back to restaurants, come back to service workers and this sort of thing. A plate is what I bring with me through everything that I do, and will always be my palate, because my time in restaurants and how it affected me and built me as a person and helped me understand people will always be a part of who I want to be. Don't ever try and escape the building blocks that make you who you are. Use those. Like, even if they're damning or humiliating or challenging or hard, get those things. That's part of your product. Pull them out and make them part of who you are. So, Mr. Miyagi. So, I love this. And what I love most is when I paint with, when I'm painting here and someone who actually has seen me in like a restaurant in New Zealand, or like has, you know, I've helped them out with a function or had a yarn with them or whatnot, actually jumps and sees my art and sees who I am. And it's like, wow, that's pretty special. And yeah, I love that. Pretty fun. I may need a one-way ticket to New Zealand now. No, you don't. You don't. All you need is a fast internet connection and to take as much of the inspiration I can give you right now to go do whatever you want to do with your life. Because I cannot say this enough, guys. There is not enough time. There is not enough time. I can't believe, what was that, 2,500 if you paint every day. So what does that mean? Up to 70 years old, no, 80 years old, 2,500, but then if you times that by 7, so we're talking 17.5 thousand more sunsets. That's all there is until you're 80. 17,000.5. Is that correct math? Don't say forever. That's nothing. 17,000 sunsets. They will be gone in a heartbeat. When you think about it like that, every day you need to get out there and do whatever really matters to you. Because once you find what matters to you, every day when you pursue it, you'll wonder how you can do it forever. And anything can happen, Pink. You're 100% right. Anything can happen. But when you find what you love, whether it be a craft, a journey, a person, whatever it is, once you meet it, find it, engage with it, you're going to wonder how you can do it as often as possible, every single chance you get, as often as you possibly can, all the time, every time. You're going to obsess with it. Now, what happens if, so once you find that stage, everything will make sense. But please, if you haven't found it yet, you need to find it as soon as possible. As soon as possible, because you don't know how obsessed you're going to be with it yet, how addictive you're going to find it. Whether that be family, you don't know how addictive family is going to be, how much you're going to love your children, how much they're going to mean to you, how much they're going to shape your life. Like parents who've had kids and all they tell you about kids is, I don't know, wish I'd had 5. Or, you know, oh, if I had one regret, I wish I had kids sooner, you know. And that's just them actually finding out who they wanted to be with their life. And when they figured it out, they just wanted more of it. So, if you haven't figured it out, get really aggressive in the pursuit of what you want. It's so comforting, the topic. Yeah. But that's the truth, guys. That is the truth. That is vital. Oh, comment on YouTube coming through. Do you prefer acrylics or oils? Honestly, everything has its perk. Woohoo! It's trying to fall. Everything has its own perk. You just need to experiment. And I know that's annoying because people used to tell me that about mediums and things like that, but what I would suggest is getting a little bit of everything: watercolor, oils, acrylics, and follow no one's advice. Play with everything on the same canvas. One of my favorite techniques ever is to use oils and acrylics on the same canvas. And people are like, oh, you can't do that. The acrylics will crack. Not really. Like a little bit. Hardly enough to not warrant doing the technique. And I just found it funny because I spent so much of my life avoiding this technique because I thought you shouldn't mix the oils with acrylics. And then when I finally did it, I'm just like, this is an absolute game changer. I should always do this because the colors, the acrylics won't mix with the oils. So when they hit each other, it's like two lanes mixing, but not properly mixing. They sit beside each other in some really interesting ways. But basically, do your thing, experiment, play, figure out what you like. Every painting you do, try and do something a little bit out of your comfort zone and see and slowly grow those techniques. I hope to see you again soon. I'm going to sleep. Goodbye from Germany. Jan, get some sleep. Fair enough. I'll catch you later. And I'm 30. I'm 30. I turned 30 in January 12th. Coming up on 31. It's an exciting time. I'm looking forward to it. I suit 30s. I'm 26, about to be 27. I remember when I was 26. I remember it vividly. Being 26 and thinking, I've got ages before 30. I don't need to worry about a thing, blah, 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 blah. And now that I'm 30, in the stage that I'm at, I'm like, the audacity of me to think like that. The audacity of me to put all my dreams on the shelf, you know, all my dreams, all the things I want to do before I turn 30 and put them over there on the shelf because I've got time. Outrageous. First off, it didn't even matter, and it won't matter by the time I'm 40. All the things I want to do, I can still pursue. But second off, man, you need it. As soon as the opportunity comes, you charge after it right away. What is it you really want to do? And don't listen to everyone else. Oh, go traveling, go see the world, go do this, go do... This is a dream, but most of the time, it's someone else's dream. Whatever your dreams are, you discover those and you pursue those. Like, yeah, I love seeing the world, but you know what? A whole world comes to my backyard every day. What I want to do, and I don't want to wait for, is I want to wake up early every morning and see sunrises. I want to paint pictures that really allow me to express who I am to the rest of the world. I want to, I'd love to go traveling, but I want to do it with people I care about. So first off, find people that you really care about and nourish really good quality friendships. Like, this is stuff that you can't put off. And when I say put off, putting off is waking up late, wasting a day, not achieving, like, you know, going to work, dabbling along, getting Uber Eats for dinner, then sitting in front of Netflix for 4 hours, then waking up and doing that on repeat. That's another day that you didn't nurture and nourish friendships. That's another day that you didn't see the beauty of that sunrise and sunset. That's another day that you didn't create something that would connect you more with other human beings. You can't afford that. You just cannot afford that. Anyway, that's how I feel. That's how I feel. I've watched you paint all three of those paintings. Trees, that's fantastic. I'm glad. None of them are available yet as prints, but they will be up. I've been thinking about doing a promotional print for people too. And by promotional, I mean, rather than doing a print that, because the prints can be quite expensive, they're on expensive paper, shipping's expensive, there's a lot of costs involved. It'd be cool to grab one artwork for the people, and release it like on the broadcast channel or somewhere, but have it at cost. And rather than having it like limited edition, just go, right, this print is, it's something that represents what we do here. It's done all, it covers the costs of the shipping, it covers the costs of the printing, etc. And it's infinite. It's available in infinity. So what's cool about that is you could just, basically it gets art out there, shares art with the world. I like that. Infinity print. This brush is done. Done, 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 done. We are done. I would want to learn all with you. You won't learn all from me. You will not. I cannot teach you all. Even if I wanted to teach you all, I wouldn't. How many teachers have you had? How many people have come through your life and given you important things to know? I'm not the person to teach you everything. All I should teach you, that I reckon I can show you, is vitality. If I can just give you vitality to go and learn from someone else, because that's the one thing I see so little of today. People with vitality to pursue their dream. We get excited about a new Netflix show coming out. We get excited about a new restaurant meal or things like this. We don't get excited about the pursuit of our own dreams. We feel like that's something that sticks to a motivational video on YouTube, but after that, we get back to what we normally do. So I'm a big believer in actually, how about I just give you vitality to know you're important, that you matter, and that you have a right to pursue your dreams and a responsibility to do so. And if you get that out of this, then go get another teacher, because if you can just learn that lesson, we are done. You know everything you need to know. And I've probably got nothing left to teach you. That's such an important message. Holy heck. Such an important one. I'll be teaching that till I'm 60, 80. I'll be blind on my deathbed trying to tell you to have vitality to pursue your dreams, guys. There is not enough time. There is not enough time. Thanks, DJ. JD Sus. Don't just take the advice, though. Go do it. And the funny thing is, we get this energy. You're like, yeah, go do it. What am I supposed to do? If you don't know what your dream is, great. What you're supposed to do is go start trying to find it. That's what you're supposed to do. Sit down there and tactically think, I need to find something. I've been to school. I went to primary school and played hide and seek. I've experimented with colouring in books and things like that. I know how to look for things. Now, the most important thing in my life right now is I need to look for what I really, really care about. That's what I need to do. Let's brainstorm. How am I going to find it? Where do I think that might be? Where wasn't it? It wasn't in this place, this place, this place. Cool. We've got a bit of a profile here, a character showing up here. Cool. Where might it be? If it wasn't in those places, where should I look next? And all of a sudden, you start getting warmer and warmer and warmer. It wasn't that, but it looked similar to that. I don't care about that. Whoop, there it is. That's what I want to be doing. That's what I care about. And then all of a sudden, every morning, full guns blazing. This is the goal. Yeah, you like that shade of blue pink? Me too. I'm a fan. What style is your work-life balance look like as an artist? Okay. In terms of work-life balance as an artist, you renege yourself to your art in a big way. I'm not telling you to burn out and work yourself to defeat, but I'm saying that your art will become something all-consuming. Just like a musician, you'll always be thinking of music. You'll always be thinking of the next painting, the current paintings, the colours, why different colours be meaningful in different ways, why you'd work on certain sizes, why you wouldn't work on other sizes. You'll constantly be thinking about it. But that's no different for art than any other thing that you'll do. If you pursue a life of self-employed work, your work will seep into everything you do in the way you think. And that's only a bad thing if you don't love what you do. Have I thought about writing? I do like writing, I'll be honest with you. Writing is pretty special, but I found that my ability to convey the way I felt was done better visually and done better verbally. So, because when I talk and articulate and hear the words that have been said coming out of my own mouth, I can then think, no, that's not right. Backtrack, cross out. This is what I'm trying to say. And so writing is something, but yeah. I do write though. I do write. I've got like all these things that I've been dribbling away at, building them up on a document, page by page, word by word, and maybe one day I'll muster up the courage and release a book. Maybe one day. That day's not today though. Oh, thank you. Appreciate that. You got Twitter for that. Can you release a book on Twitter? That's wild. There we go. Do 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 do. La da 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 da. All right, this picture's wanting some shades of vermilion, but not just yet. We'll keep dabbling here for a little bit longer. There we go. Beautiful. How long have I worked on this painting? This painting's on about 3 hours. So we want to thread the needle on this painting in the next 4 hours. When I say 3 hours though, it's had 3 1-hour sessions, maybe. I think it's had 4 sessions, 2 that were 1 hour and 2 that were half an hour. So we'd be looking to do another 8 sessions as we add little bits of paint here and there. And slowly let the painting take form. Do I do abstract paintings? I do. I haven't done one for a while, and the reason I haven't done one for a while is I like having a guiding image. And the reason I like a guiding image is I go a bit crazy. When I'm left untethered, the image I paint, the image here, it shackles me or tethers me to something. And if it wasn't there, I go in all sorts of crazy directions. And so it's nice to have an anchor point, a point of control and comfort that you can go crazy from. You know, you choose where that point is and you go crazy from there and get everything, you know, around it. But at least the endless world of possibilities doesn't overwhelm and destroy the process of what you could get. I said that in a really heebly-jeebly way. Lincoln's pretty much done. The actual picture's basically finished. It needs a bit more white. Yeah. There's a few little patches I want to touch up with some white, but the color palette's done. So we'll see where we get to. I see a comment coming in here. Hello from Carmel, California. Hello, Mark Harkey. And currently painting a picture that my friend sent me from Iceland. Hello. Some funky people joining from all over the world. That's pretty cool. I think I've overloaded you already. I'm going to give you like a 15-minute break from these wild yarns and just do some painting and lighthearted conversation, because life's not all about getting overrun with intense quotes about do this, do that, be this, be that. Sometimes, small talk. I used to hate small talk. Couldn't stand it. Didn't know why anyone would want to do it. Frustrated me at the very idea of just having a conversation about it. About stuff that didn't even matter. But I realized the problem wasn't with the small talk, it was with my approach to it. And actually, there's the opportunity in light conversation with those you care about. Always as a premise, those you care about, to have moments of connection and lighthearted fun. So, don't be like I used to be and turn on small talk and call that the problem, because it's not the small talk, it's probably how you're having it. So, to be frank, we haven't had a proper Seb talk. Yeah. That was a good one though, Victoria. You missed it. You missed most of the rant actually, but basically, I mean, where did we go with it? I forget. We went in a lot of directions, but show others love, respect yourself, and pursue your dreams. I think that's sounds so cheesy when you say it like that, but if it's cheesy, it's normally true. Cheesy is usually the right track. Where do you get all your acrylics? That's a good question. These ones are Atlia. They don't sponsor me. They just do reasonably priced paint. It's not the best paint on the market. It's but remember that when you buy paint, you're buying a liquid pigment basically. You can buy pigments, the actual powders of colours, from anywhere to actually brew your own paint from scratch. But with the painting that I do and the mediums I mix through it, I don't need an ultra saturated pigment like the most expensive paints can have, because what that does is it means that I have to actually, it won't layer and be as transparent and as nice as I want it to be. So sometimes the most expensive paint isn't the best paint, but you do need something of archival quality. So archival quality is a bare minimum, and what that means is it's not going to yellow, it's not going to crack, it's not going to change color over time, and it's not going to deteriorate. It needs to be pH neutral, because acids will slowly deteriorate the work. And this, yeah, so this will last the test of time, provided that you coat it with UV protection and do all the right things to it. So that's about, how much is that? 25 bucks a tube. There's some cheap ones here for like $14 a tube, and then there's some there for $50 a tube. Depends on the pigment you're after. I think turquoise is the most expensive pigment there at like $59. This little tube here, that 800 mils, 2.7 US fluid ounces, $65. But when you want that pigment at that exact color, you've just got to bite that bullet. You could not get it. Sometimes you're just like, no, I'm not doing it. And then every stroke you put down, you know it should have been that color. So typically, if you know what color you want, then you can go into the art store and say, right, I must have this pigment. And if it's a cheap one, fantastic. And if it's not, well, that is just the way things go sometimes. But I'll typically get every single pigment I can get my hands on. I'm currently running 32. The most pigments I've ever run, like at one time, was about 58. That was excessive. What you end up doing is losing track of where you're at with certain pigments. I'm probably a little bit short now though, 32. I should encroach back up to about the 45 mark. That's a good place to be. With more attention on more of those pastels and greyish colours. Love that, but thanks CMC, appreciate you. Yes, I do sell them, but this one's not for sale. That one's got an inquiry on it right now. Lincoln's got 2 people looking at it, so you can get in touch, but I can't give you first dibs. And then the farmer's not finished. But the farmer has no owner. Though I was thinking of giving it to the farmer that's been painted on it. because I know the guy. He's an absolute legend. Serious question. How do painters and artists in general financially survive? That's a great question. That is a great question. Let me ask you, how does a builder survive? He builds. Now, in that same way, you'd be like, but no one buys my art. Well, who are you trying to sell the art to? Do you expect, if you're a builder, can you just sit at home and hope that someone's going to come knocking on your door and hope that they'll ask you just to build a house and assume that you know how to build a house? What does the builder do? The builder puts himself out there. The builder tells everyone that he knows how to build. Everyone that he knows that he's a builder. What was Bob doing? What was Bob's career? Someone tell me what Bob's career was. Bob was a builder. Now, I haven't heard of Aaron the artist. You know why? Aaron was probably too shy to let everyone know. And that's probably why Aaron didn't sell his artwork. Aaron the artist needs to start calling himself an artist, telling everyone he knows that he's an artist, or at least wants to be an artist, and doing everything he can to make as much art as he possibly can. It's going to be tough, but if you don't put yourself out there, the alternative is not chasing your dream. One story that I've told you about on this channel before that I love was a lady who painted incredible fish pictures, just incredible fish pictures. They sound hard to sell. Who's going to buy fish pictures? Pictures of marlin, pictures of kingfish. What did she do? Did she just post them on Instagram and hope someone buys them? No. What did she do? She worked as a waiter. And as she was a waiter, guess where she worked? She was a waiter in a yacht club. And so when these men would come in, when these people would come in with their catches from the day, they'd go into the club to have beers, drink and celebrate. And when they went to drink and celebrate, who was serving them? She was. And she'd ask them what they caught, and they'd say, we caught the biggest marlin. We are incredible. The fish is incredible. Look at these photos of it. And she'd say, that looks really cool. Do you know what I've got? I've got the most incredible painting of a marlin out back right now. I painted it myself, and it looks like this fish almost to a T. Do you want to see it? And they'd always say yes. They're there having a few drinks. She'd head out back. She'd get the painting. She'd bring it out, and it's amazing. And all of a sudden, she's got a group of people who are having a great time, who love fish, who have a special connection at this moment with a particular fish that she's painted. And she has the painting there framed in front of them. And she says, this is how much this painting's worth. Would you like it? Those 6 gentlemen, those 6 people, those 8 people, those 2 people, whoever, they are the most important people who are most likely to buy that painting on the face of the planet at that particular moment. And she found them. And you know what? If that place got 200 people through it that night and she was the waiter for all of them, well, however many she could handle, they would all see those paintings. And she could not keep up. You know what she struggled with? Finding time to be a waiter when she had to paint so many paintings. Every time she was a waiter, they'd just sell out again because everyone wanted them. Cheers, Thomas. So this is important because there's a lady called Maria Brophy, and she's married to Drew Brophy. And Drew Brophy is the greatest surfboard artist in the world. Now, you cannot talk about surf art unless you talk about Drew Brophy. They are one and one, and that was his goal. He swore by that. That's what he wanted to be. And so every party he went to, Maria remembers this from when she used to go to parties. Drew would be there. He'd bring along an A3 folder. I think it was A3. And he'd lay it on the table in the kitchen. And while everyone's having drinks, having fun, talking, what's Drew doing? He's saying, hey everyone, I'm an artist. I've got a book here of the stuff that I've made. Who wants to check it out? Who's sitting there and not going to come over there and go, I'll have a little bit of a look-see. Oh, wow. Oh, that's actually pretty cool. Flick flick, flick, and all of a sudden, by the end of the time that he spent, what was it, high school, university, wherever, everyone who knew Drew knew he was an artist and knew he painted surfboards. Now, if you're going to get a surfboard painted, who's going to pop into your mind first? Drew. And then Maria, she was a lawyer, I think, and she left her job to help Drew actually produce his art. They did it together. They went on that journey together. Now, the reason why that's important is Maria went on to write books about how to sell art, about how to make a career out of art. And she said every artist has a different journey. She's the one who told me the story about the waitress who sold the fish paintings. In the same way that her and Drew ended up selling their surf art. And what she went on to say that was so important is that whatever you do, is it coffee tables? Is it greenstone? Is it carving rocks? Is it painting murals? Is it building and painting canvases? Is it body painting? Is it painting cars? Whatever it is, the answer for you to find your art form will be different from any other answer that's ever existed. Your answer is unique and it's for you. And so you need to find that though. You can talk to people, you could contact Maria Brophy and get her advice specific for you. But regardless of what she tells you, your journey is your own. And you have to go on it. Terrifying as it is, you have to put yourself out there and you have to do it. Think about it. You have to show the world who you are. And that thing you do in your art, where you present your raw, authentic self and feel exposed and humiliated when others see it, you're going to have to do that. Not just to one or two people, but to the whole world, over and over and over again. And if that sounds too frightening, then I would avoid art like the plague. Because as an artist, just like a musician is supposed to write down lyrics and sing them out loud about their deepest feelings, about this nature of reality and who they are as a person, you're going to be expected to do it on a 2D surface and have people scrutinize and look at it and see who you are through that. So if you're not ready for that, run. But if a small part of you is like, no, I think I can do it, then trust me, if a small part of you thought you might be able to do it, the whole of you can. There's just a little bit of doubt there. We can get you past that. It's actually a little bit of coffee, but don't worry, I mixed it quite weak. So that's fun. So cowboy painting, blues touched around everywhere. A few of the highlights here with the blues, and then now we're adding the yellows through it. I've also got Naples yellow, which is more of a tan, and I've got, what is that? Yellow ochre to add in too. These are our more bland colors to actually go over the top to lessen down those primaries. It's the voice, yeah. It's the thing about New Zealand accents is we sound like robots. And so it's actually kind of relaxing for kids because it's all just monotone, non-stop. So that's quite fun. Right. And then I'm going to need to get Joanne. We're going to get some of our red light, naphthol red light, and with some white, and do these faces and skin tones next. After this. Do. That sounds pretty fun, Christina. If I was ever going to do voiceovers, I'd want to do children's books. That's a fact. That is a cold, hard fact. Just checking in there on YouTube, making sure they're all happy. They're happy. YouTube's pretty fun. There's a few people who are painting along with me. Just a few. But That's pretty wholesome. Right. Righty, right. Here's the next colour coming through here. Get that layering effect going on. Here we go. Did Pink sneak off? Naughty Pink. Pink's been doing that lately. Just sneaks off when it suits. Hey JB, how you doing? We got a fair few people from Nashville in here today. What's the time in Nashville, Tennessee at the moment? What time are you working to? And I appreciate the Dragon Lindy. I think we can all be good at speaking though. I think we just need to find a topic that we're passionate about. If you heard me talk about the weather, you might be like, ooh, he's pretty boring, pretty bland, or pretty intense. And then when you hear me speak about art, you're like, okay, I can get on board. In the same way, you'll have something that actually, when you speak on it, it's good. Dan, how you doing? Another Gower. You're a Gower too, Dan? That's exciting. Oh, unless my brother's actually doing a TikTok live right now too. That'd be pretty funny. Oh, thanks, Jay. Appreciate that. 8:41 p.m. All right, 8:41. That's exciting. That's exciting. 8:41. That is the right time, isn't it? That's a good time. Dan Gogh from the UK. Stick to painting. You know what? That is very, very kind, Frank. Sometimes people will come on and be like, yo, you should not quit your day job. And I'll be like, ooh, this is my day job. But look, singing is a funny one too, because singing's not what I do, but I sing. And the reason I sing is because I was very insecure about singing for a long time in my life. I follow you since 1986. That would be tough, for I was born in 1993. But, sorry, going back to what I was saying there, when I talk about you should be free to express who you are and things, I thought, I need to take some of my own medicine here, and I shouldn't be nervous about actually singing in front of people. When I feel like it, I should do that. And so over the last few years, I got over my fear of singing. And now I realize it doesn't matter. And all that happens, even when my notes are wrong, is I make other people happy. Because they feel or can sort of get on board with a little bit of the excitement or joy that I've got. And I think, that was silly of me. I denied over a decade's worth of that just because I was too afraid. I thought people would judge me. And they do. But at the same time, I just needed to grow up. Does he even read or look at the screen? Yeah. Yeah, I do. And I care about what you've got to say. And although I don't come over there and stare straight at the screen, I'm over here trying to give you as much love as possible. Did I accidentally dip my brush in my drink? I don't think so. No, we're golden. But there's a risk of that. Luckily though, we're using non-toxic paints. So that's handy. There we go. Getting some good form coming out in this. It's not quite there yet. He's good at multitasking. He tries. Sometimes when I get caught in a rant or need to get just the right amount of detail in one of these pictures, I can get a little bit lost, but that's okay. We persevere. There we go. There we go. And your knees don't hurt? No, I'm golden. Hello, my Zell. Hey, Sophie. And there's some cool comments coming in here. I've just missed a few here on YouTube. I wish more people could and hello, Seb. It's been a minute. How are you? I'm doing well, my Zell. And don't your knees hurt? Great questions. Great questions. Knees don't hurt. Carpet's nice and soft. If you lean back like this, you'd probably, injure them. But the weight's straight down, which is quite relaxing for my knees. Thanks, Christopher. Appreciate you. There we go. Need that loose feeling to the paint. With these works that have a lot of detail in them, you can get caught up and think that you really, really want to demand certain features out of it. And when you do that, you can lose some of that creativity that the paint can have. So you gotta keep reminding yourself to keep that loose nature inside the paint. Enjoy your paintings from Nashville. Thanks, Marco. Something about Nashville tonight. Everyone's in here from Nashville. They must have closed down town for the night. Town ain't playing the right country songs. When do we see the next painting, Seb? Ooh, soon. But I want to get this, what color is this? Yellow ochre on this picture first. On these cowboys. On these cowboys. Mama, don't let your babies grow up to be cowboys. They'll never stay home and they're always alone, even with someone they love. Mamas, don't let your babies grow up to be... We need a gallery in Nashville. That would be like... That would be a dream come true, honestly. I remember going to Nashville. I loved everything on that strip. It was just incredible. The machines, the games, the music. My favorite bar I was in, they called the security guard over, and he was just the most incredible singer. He got him up on the stage there and he's belting out country songs. It was the best vibe that I've been a part of. And anyway, imagine being on that strip with a gallery that had non-stop country music playing, or a country music bar. Just a few Western pictures up on the wall. That'd be fun. I lived in Nashville, but I'm now in Ohio. Ohio is fun too. There's that song, Miss Ohio, if you haven't heard it. Give it a listen. The one, oh me, oh my, oh. Would you look at Miss Ohio? She's running around with her rag top down. She says she wants to do right, but not right now. I forget the exact tune, but man, she's a goodie. Bonjour from France. I've been to France. It was lovely. Thoroughly enjoyed it. France has a lot to offer. We're going to mix some Nipthal Crimson in through this. Nipthal Crimson in with our yellow ochre. Get a bit of a blend going on. It's going to get just a little bit more salmony. There we go, and a little bit thick. And that's what I want to get in them heels there. There we go. Donate a bit of your money to cancer research. I agree. I think that when it comes to money, I think it was Rich Dad, Poor Dad. The book had some great advice in it. I think it was in that book, where they said every dollar you earn, so after you've paid all your bills and things, the money that you've got left over at the end of the day, save a third of it, spend a third of it, and donate a third of it. And if you can keep that going, no matter how big you get, what you do, That's where your satisfaction can come from. Paint brand, that's a good question. I've got a whole mixture here at the moment. I got a whole mixture, but it depends what you want to do. Depends what you want to do. Depending on what you're after, will have a huge impact on what paint brand you actually want to be using. If you want high pigmentation with very, very low transparency, then you want to leap on bada bing bang bong, some high quality acrylics from a professional art store. Really expensive. If you're just starting out, but you want to make work that will last forever, look for archival quality. That's the word. That was a fantastic response. So thanks, Robert. Appreciate you, mate. Here we go. There we go. That goes in there. Oh, me, oh, my, oh. Would you look at Miss Ohio? He's running around with the rag top down. Says she wants to do it right, but not right now. Want to drive to Atlanta, live out this fantasy, rolling around with the rag top down. Bum, 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 bum. How am I doing this morning, Jacob? I am doing well. It is a good day. Oh, me, oh, my, oh. Would you look at Miss Ohio? Let's just jump on there for a second. Let me see that there. Bum, 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 bum. What is that thing? Oh, me, oh, my, oh. Would you look at Miss Oh, my, oh. Where is the thing that I'm looking for? Da, 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 da. That's what I wanted to do. There we go. Did that work? Yeah, sweet as. Awesome. So guys, one of the fantastic things, if you're feeling motivated but you've got no space left on your wall, then gifts and subscriptions is a really, really cool way to support the art that we make here and support this place. You can help me get the get coffee in the morning, put a roof over my head, and I really appreciate that. So everyone who's already a subscriber as well, I just want to say I love you guys to bits for making my entire, well, being a part of what makes my entire life possible. And everyone who's just here for a good time, please stay. Please have a good time. Do you have a favorite brush shape or size? Yeah, I guess I do. This one. It's got some paint on at the moment, so it's not perfect. This one is Da Vinci top acrylic. It's actually quite a fancy brush, but they don't need to be this fancy. This one here. So it's about, what, half an inch, I think. But it's a flathead. So flathead means, oh, there we go, that it's smooth across the top. That means you can use the corners for detail. And that's a good way to have it. That's a good way to have it. Thanks, Thomas. Appreciate you. And questions on, oh, thanks, Not Sophie. Appreciate that. Questions coming in on YouTube. My cat, their food, painting plate. Oh no, we got some paint on the couch from one of our painters on YouTube. And do you have an underpainting wash first, or do you just go in straight away? Okay, this is an important question. Do you go in straight away when you start painting, or do you prepare the surface? You prepare the surface. I don't have the stuff here with me at the moment. I do have one little bottle. This is binder medium. It works as a primer. You want to prime the surface first, because that means that the paints will sit on it better and stay more poppy with their colors. So very much encourage poppy binder mediums. I like using ones with zero tooth. I don't want tooth. I want paints to flow. So, but some people love to have a bit of tooth to what they put down. Each to their own. Is Seb short for Sebastian? Yes, it is. My full name is Sebastian Gogh, and I am from New Zealand. And this corner of the studio is in Auckland. We're out of the previous one at the moment. Well, I just let those fumes die down because I put some quite stinky top coats on some work. So there's that. Ba do dee do dee da 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 do. Says I wanna do right, but not right now. What's the idea behind this painting? This is a fun one. This is a fun one in the sense that we've done paintings of the subject for vigor. We've done paintings of royalty, of all these sorts of topics in different commissions. But this particular one, we've got a father and a son, and we're calling it Two Cowboys. So you get the feeling of a horse, some fence lines, some barrels, bits of cash, houses, little like sheds of things in fields, and then we have these mountains across the back. So we've got all these elements of landscape, of genre pictures of the West. So basically we want to capture these two cowboys, their hats shown off, their styles, who they are, but then we want to capture it with these cowboy Western colors. So very, very warm. This shot's going to have, aside from other photos like Mahalo, where it was definitely this blue, overwhelming wave, this one has the heat. Imagine Arizona sun, boof, warming the whole thing. When you look at this picture, I want you to imagine 38 degrees. And then I want you to see two cowboys. But it doesn't want to feel aggressive. This guy here is a rootin' tootin' cowboy. He's got two guns. He's got his hips forward. He's got both guns up. This guy here's got a shotgun. He's holding it here. They're both ready to go. But you don't want to feel ominous aggression. You just want to feel the nice feeling of two people being cowboys. That's what we're after. Do you usually work from a picture? Always. Picture anchors you, tethers you to something. Without a picture, you just go crazy. Crazy in a, in a wild way. Sometimes I like working without a picture, but I think it's always fun to have a picture to anchor a job. How long would you painting usually take for you to complete? 5 to 15 hours. You go over that, you've left your window of opportunity. Did you eat dinner yet? No, because here in New Zealand it is... Oh, my little thing's not telling me it's annoying. But it's just after 1 o'clock, so... It's not dinner time. It's not dinner time. Doom, 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 doom. There we go. And it's going to sneak through there. And so you can start to see all these warming colors and these different pigments of warmth coming together to really pull out the warmth from the picture, while still keeping that sky light. Light and empty in the sky, warm and sweltering down here. Seb, what did you make last night? That's a good question, Steve. Last night, what did I have last night? Last night was date night. So we went way too late. Shelby had some interviews that she was doing. And so after she was finished that, it was like 8 o'clock. But a lovely restaurant was open, had their bar open later. So we grabbed bar snacks. That's what we did. Which was nice. Nice touch. I spy Abe Lincoln, you spy correctly. That's a very exciting picture, that one over there. Payne's Grey, that's the colour we want. Perfect. Drop Payne's Grey down here. Mix it with some pastel aquamarine, and then get just a wee bit of this gloss gel, semi-gloss, down here to mix in with it to get some of our shadows highlighted. Is she an artist as well? No, she's not. No, she is not. She approves of this art though. This TikTok was approved by Shelby. Yeah, she approves of this, but she has her own job that she loves. She spends her days helping people in the most wholesome of ways. It's her dream job. So she's got her dream job, I've got my dream job, everyone's got their dream jobs, dream careers, doing dreamy things, off into the sunset. Yeah, this one grows on you, eh, Pink? The heat behind it slowly starts to resonate. Oh me, oh my, oh, would you look at Miss Ohio? She's running around with a rag top down. She says she wants to do right, but not right now. Gonna drive to Atlanta, live out this fantasy. Can I paint you like one of my French girls? Unfortunately, well, fortunately, I don't have any French girls. But look, I'm very excited that you watched the Titanic. That's an excellent movie. It's a masterpiece by James Cameron. And one day there will be shirts that say that, and you can get one and support Seb Gough's merchandise. New merch is on the way, guys. It's not here yet. Still waiting on it to arrive. Oh me, oh my, oh, would you look at Miss Ohio? Is it bad that I laughed at the end of Titanic? Depends what about. I was gutted that Jake didn't fit on the board, but look, I also understand. Man, that must have been cold though. I leapt in the pool the other day and got brain freeze. And I'm thinking, man, that water must have been cold. But sad when the band plays. Lots of things about that movie very sad. I got. Show us that painting after you're done. Yes, indeed. I will, I will. Oh me, oh my, oh, would you look at Miss Ohio? She's running around with a rag top down. No, I don't. I do like the original though. But you know what? I could be convinced. Is it good? Is it a good hot take on that one? Oh me, oh my, oh. I love it when the, is it trumpet? When that comes in. It's a winner. Gonna drive to Atlanta, live out this fantasy. I'm gonna swap to a smaller brush here. Would you look at Miss Ohio? She's running around, rag top down. Wants to do right, not right now. Gonna drive to Atlanta, live out this fantasy. Sing My Heart Will Go On. I did sing that in a high school audition for a play. Out of all the songs in the whole world, I chose that one. And they laughed at me. Still got a part in the play, but they thought that was pretty funny. 15-year-old boy standing there, arms behind his back, belting out My Heart Will Go On. Oh, the things we do. I regret nothing, Jay Smith. But, yeah, possibly could have done that a wee bit better. Da 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 dum dum dum. La da da dum. Da dum dum dum. I just wanna do right, not right now. Gonna drive to Atlanta. This is looking very cool. This is looking very cool. We're getting depth in all the right places. all the right depth in all the right places. Really love the diversity in each of our paintings from you. This is spectacular. Yes, so Steve, and I've appreciated your love for that too, Steve. One thing we talk about here is art done repeatedly. Art done repeatedly is a craft. Now, if art done repeatedly is a craft, when you're purchasing artwork, there's always going to be slight deviations, slight things that make each piece unique. If it's exactly the same, you're not purchasing art, it's something else entirely. But I love how each one of these pieces, Mahalo, the Little Princess Siam, and Aboriginal, have their own unique touches, their own things that really make them their own characters. And this one too. You couldn't say that two are the same. How do you concentrate while dancing, singing, and talking? No. I would say that the singing, talking, and the dancing, and the yarning, and the moving, that's what helps me concentrate. You ever sat in front of a work, a white work, a brand new work, with paint on the brush, nothing's on it yet, and you just stare at it, and you're stunned and shocked, and don't know what to do, and don't know where to put the first stroke, even though you know it doesn't matter, you just can't decide where to put it, can't bring yourself to make it, feel anxiety, and then eventually you do put that stroke down, you judge it too much, you try to change it, you spend the next 2 hours changing each stroke after the first stroke, judging every one that follows since. You, in that case, needed a distraction. For me, the love of speaking my mind, the love of dancing, the love of music, the love of actual feeling and being real and authentic, sharing, that allows me to concentrate. You should do a spooky theme painting and put spooky things into the world? No, come on. Let's put happiness into the world. Let's get bold, fun colours. Let's put something out there that makes people feel joy. Van Gogh could have painted spooky things, but he chose to always imbue his paintings with a feeling of joy, of love, and appreciation for how beautiful the planet was. No matter how negative he was feeling, he always did that. And I think that's an example that we can look back on positively and appreciate. Woo, Chile. Are you from Chile? That's fantastic. Hey, I just want to say that I loved your art and one of your... Oh, thank you, Mr. Kiwi. Appreciate you. You just upped your game. I just upped my game? Oh, because I stood up. Ha, ha, ha. All right, yes. Good. That's funny. Do you ever paint portraits of people? Yeah, look. There's one down there. It's Abraham Lincoln. There's a guy standing. There's two cowboys. I like portraits, but depending on the portrait you're after, though, I have to really think that, yeah, we can make something special out of that. So just because you've got a portrait of yourself, for example, doesn't mean that we'll be able to do it. I might need to suggest other artists to you who can do a better job than myself. But sometimes I'll look at a picture and I'll be like, we can do magic with that. So that's important. And Lucas, thanks for subscribing. Appreciate having you on board, Lucas, you absolute champion. He isn't the greatest painter, but his understanding of colour. But he has understanding of colour, and that's great. It depends. It depends. You want to separate painter from craftsman. And at the same time, remember that regardless what anyone says about your work, we all sit around tables now and say Van Gogh is the best that ever existed. But no one liked his stuff before. He was brewing up stuff like Mother Hen cooking that cake. And no one wanted a bar of it. Until all of a sudden, it's a cake. And everyone wants some. And now, you need to pay what? You need to pay the cost of what a regular painting is to buy to go see his work. So, what that tells you is it's got very, very little with Van Gogh, very little to do with, I mean, anyone can spend hours in front of a canvas now and make a Van Gogh, but you won't make anyone feel the same. So, what's the most important thing when it comes to art? You. You and how you feel. Your feelings, what you care about. And everything else pales in comparison. Don't let anyone else come along and tell you what makes good art. You choose that, because art's feelings. That's like someone else coming along and telling you how to feel, or why you should feel a certain way. Listen, acknowledge, but then do you. Was Lincoln a commission piece, or will it be available? Just curious. It will be available, but there's a few expressions of interest on it at the moment, so you can definitely reach out and get in touch for it, but I can't guarantee anything. So, we'll keep you posted. Thanks, JB. Oh, me, oh, my, oh. Would you look at Miss Ohio? She's running around with a rag, top down. Says she wants to do right, not right now. Gonna drive to Atlanta. So this is now a very, very poppy royal purple. And the fun thing about this royal purple is it's very, very similar. It's a mixed color, but it's very similar to the purple that was put in The Little Prince of Siam. So the reason why that's fun, Steve, is that if the two paintings are close to each other, there'll be a correlation between them. Very subtly, but it'll exist. And I like that. There we go. Several comments about it. Wanted to ask. Yeah. Fair enough, JB. Fair enough. What are some of the challenges of painting left-handed? Well, you put the camera on one side, so your hand's not in front of the canvas. But apart from that, there's nothing. Paint brushes can go on either side of your body. Paint palette is a plate, so we're not affected by where the thumb hole is. Hello, Ivan. How you doing? Oh, me, oh, my, oh. There we go. I'm just going to cut through there. Now we're talking. Perfect. Perfect. Just checking in here on YouTube. Oh, Mason. The best thing to do is to leap on, contact me via email, Mason. Jump on the link in the bio, and I will sort you out from there. There is an address, but I'm not sure it's posted anywhere. Brazil. Hey, Rodney. Oh, You really understand the history of someone to paint a portrait that explains them. Yeah. Or understand just a little bit about where someone's coming from. You don't need to know their entire past, but understanding a little bit about them and what makes their personality or who they are as a person unique. Understanding that is very, very compelling to take a painting to the next level. Do you decide on the color palette first or while you're painting? Ooh. I think you decide on an outcome that you're after. So we're trying to create a feeling of warmth, a feeling of real Western environment to really embellish these characters in it. But in terms of deciding the colors pigment for pigment, we let that get a little bit more wild. We let that change, chop and change a little bit. And that's okay. Boom, and thanks for those roses. That was really kind. I'm sending you a big bouquet of roses. One for every time you broke my heart. There we go. How do you envision detail? How do you envisage details? I'm thinking the most difficult to realize. Once you start thinking about details as different from anything else, then they're going to be difficult to realize. But in terms of the painting itself, the painting doesn't care what's a detail, what's not. It cares about brushstrokes. It cares that when you step away, you get the whole feeling of the painting. And so often we're so hung up on what we think a fence should look like, a head should look like, a horse should look like, an eye, a nose, a mouth, that we actually completely forget about what the end result or the goal of the painting was, to express the subject, and get completely caught up and choked on what we feel like a nose should be expressed like. Don't do that. Forget about what's actually in the painting. Disassociate from the fact that there's two cowboys here, the horse, the barrels. See the shapes, apply the shapes, and make the painting what it actually is. Because your mind's going to have one belief of what it should look like, whereas reality is something very different. It's like when you sit down and say, draw someone to a child, without the ability, some children can just completely disassociate and go, right, here's the picture, boof. And those are the ones we say are creative. But then there's other children who look at it and go, right, well, eye, nose, mouth, ear, circle face. And that's something that extrapolates to adulthood, where we think, right, that's what I want to see, so that's what I'll focus on. And the light that reached your retinas, yeah, your brain turned it into a face, but it didn't care. It was just lights and shadows and colours and hues. So once you can actually forget the face and focus on those tones and hues, then you'll see the real picture. Then you'll find it. How's the weather in New Zealand this time of year? Intermittent, that's what I'd call it. Intermittent, so it's all over the show. Sometimes it's raining, sometimes it's sunny. I want to be outside, but you can't stream for more than 30 minutes because showers keep crossing across. And we could risk it at the start of a painting, but now that we're quite deep into the work, we wouldn't risk taking this one outside for fear of losing some of the layers we've made. When I say take it outside, we would take it outside, but only if we knew it wasn't going to rain. Now we'd check the weather report. Because we're too deep. I can't go on like this. If you haven't watched Shrek recently too, go back and watch Shrek 1. I'm telling you, Shrek 1 is good. The morals in that are fantastic. Anyone can be a hero. Anyone can be a princess. And what a true love story looks like isn't what all the comics will show you. Sometimes a true love story looks like the complete opposite. Because it's got nothing to do with how it looks, but everything to do with how it feels. A painting doesn't need to talk from the artist to understand what he or she is saying. A painting doesn't need a talk from the artist to understand. A painting doesn't need is a princess, of course. I'm not following Chris, but no, a painting doesn't need a talk from anyone. A painting can exist entirely on its own. Good example of that is Van Gogh wasn't very nice, but you know what? Starry, Starry Night was beautiful, wasn't it? So it was beautiful. We're going to pause there with this one, let those purples start to dry. But no one really liked Van Gogh. He was not a very likable person. So you'd have to say Starry, Starry Night speaks for itself. Wouldn't you? Do. La dee da da do. Ba da ba ba ba. Let's bring that down to here. All the way down. There we go. Perfect. Put that there. Of course you don't understand. Yes, of course, Starry Night was a piece that speaks for itself. Jeepers, Chris. Oh well. Sorry to upset you, mate. All the best. Anyway, let's have a look-see here. Bring this one up. Dun, 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 dun. I'm making Steve TikTok fame. That's fun. Here we go. Let's chuck that one down there. All right, how are we looking? Oh, we need to get that leg a little straighter. Which leg isn't quite right? Here we go. This one? Is it that leg? No, it was the other leg. Hold on. Oh me, oh my, oh. Would you look at Miss Ohio? She's running around with the rag top down. Here we go. Okay, now we're going to rotate that a little bit. There we go. Put that one there. And bring this one down here. There we go. Okay, how are we looking there? Now we're going to do a bit of a reframing to there. There we go. Perfecto. Let's rotate you guys there a little bit. That's about right, I think. Perfect. And then we get that there, and then go to there, and then touch that there. Different size things, so you're always swapping around here and there. I think that's the right position though, right? Yeah, that should work. That should work. Gotta run, JB. I will see you later. Later, alligator. In a while, crocodile. Let's get that. And flex that forward a little bit. There we go. Perfect. Aloha, Rick. How we doing? Yeah, this one's had a bit of love on it, but we're not quite there yet. We're slowly figuring this one out. Stroke by stroke. What paints am I using? We're using acrylics and a lot of gels. So you get that really popping color coming out of it because of all the additives that we're putting in the paint. You need additives. You need them. Oh. Oh me, oh my, oh. Would you look at Miss Ohio? He's running around with the rag top down. There we go. We're going to put this up there. Perfect. All right, let's get this around here. All right, let's put this up here. On this, we'll go there. We'll move it around because that part there needs some love. Right, kicking off with the same colors we're using on the Cowboy painting. What's this color here? We mixed ourselves Naphthol Crimson into, I keep forgetting, yellow ochre. Naphthol Crimson into yellow ochre. That's what we're doing here. Perfect. All right, now let's get this paint onto here. Okay, this color is going to really pop too because we haven't got a color this deep in it just yet. Oh, Rick V. Hass. All right. Rick V. Hass, the Tumbler Man. That's fun. Hello, how we doing? Okay. Let's get these popping colors in here. Just down through here. And then coming across here. So the darker shades highlighting this jacket, outlining the areas that make it what it is. There we go. Perfect. Perfect. Probably a little bit more of this gel going here. And a little bit more of this. There we go. Oh, me, oh, my, oh. Would you look at Miss Ohio? She's running around with a rag top down. Really wants to do right, but not right now. Here we go. Wanna drive to Atlanta. Live out this fantasy. Ooh. Oh my god, it's not a subscriber only chat this time. No, it's not, Jason. It is not. But we did go through quite a naughty patch, so we've hopefully we don't have to resort back to that, because it's more fun when everyone can get involved. Much more wholesome. Much more wholesome. The colours come out better on TikTok than they do on YouTube. And I have extensive devices. TikTok's coming through a very, very high... TikTok's going through a better camera, which may be playing into it. And YouTube's just on a front cam. So I will need to look into that. Because that, if that's the replay, is a little bit niggly. What does the gel do for the painting? Who Raibu? So the gel that you add to the painting makes the paint transparent in different ways, makes it dry fast, makes it layer more effectively, makes it go flat, glossy, satiny, has a whole bunch of effects. So depending on what you're after, there's all sorts of different gels you can use to gain those effects. At the moment, I'm using one that's only slightly glossy, but has more of a extending effect on the acrylic, makes it run nicer, and makes it land and behave very, very similar to oils. It's a mixture of two glosses, actually. It's my favorite little brew. Oh me, oh my, oh. Is Atelier paint your go-to acrylic? If not, what is? It usually is my go-to. I get less hung up on the paint. Once you're on archival paints, you can sort of do what you like, but I spend more time thinking about what my mixtures inside the paint are going to be. What am I adding to it? Am I using Liquitex, some Atelier things there? I've used Mod Podge. It's all right, but make sure the things you add into the paint are high quality. You're painting mediums and non-yellowing. Jeepers creepers, guys. You don't want work that slowly turns yellow if you can help it. For some mediums, it's unavoidable, but you don't want it to turn yellow in the first 2 years. You want to keep that warmth in it. It's been a pretty good stream today, Pink. Jeepers, I was giving you a hard time earlier, Pink. I thought you'd run off. But you're still here with me. I appreciate you. There we go. I can go through there. What's my favorite color? Currently, it's probably Naphthol Crimson. But favorite color of all time, Brilliant Magenta. There we go. I was working on some, you champion, Pink. Don't ever let me give you a hard time if you're off doing your own craft. That's fantastic. You know I back that sort of carry on 100%. 100%. What's your take on canvas if you're selling your work? Canvas is fine. It's not the be-all end-all solution. Canvas is nice. So is board. So is any surface you can get, glass. As long as you prime it correctly and the surface can last indefinitely, then you're away. So don't paint on things like MDF board that has a temporary shelf life. Paint on masonite that's water resistant and doesn't have chemicals in it, so it will last forever. This is the steps you need to make. I'm colorblind, yet I'm fascinated by this whole feed. That's fun. One thing you'll notice if you're colorblind is that the hue, although you can't see the hues flying off in all directions, The picture itself should have good tone. I try not to mess up the tone, Thomas. I try to keep the tone as consistent as possible inside all these wild, crazy hues. Oh me, oh my, oh. Would you look at Miss Ohio? She's running around, the rag top down. She says she wants to do right, but not right now. She wants to drive to Atlanta to live out this fantasy. Rolling around, the rag top down. All right, all right, all right, all right. Gonna drive to Atlanta, live out this fantasy. Bum ba da boom ba da bee ba doo. There we go. And how we doing over here? All right. Pause there for a second. That's a lot of painting. Seb uses every colour, and that's what I like about his paintings. Never a dull moment. That's fun. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. All right, let's go over here. Grab this. Put this down here. Yeah, I can see what you're talking about actually there. I can see on the YouTube feed, it's like not as intense. Oh well. Oh well. I'll find some way of actually, maybe the solution is just to download it off TikTok and upload. That might be the best go, but we'll see. Anyway. Thanks, May. Appreciate you. Yeah. Unless that, yeah, there's a bit of water left in that. That's all good. Some attention around here. This background needs some love. That's just about perfect. This needs some love through here. The jacket's about perfect. A bit more attention in the beard. And the sky needs to match off a little bit with a few extra colours. We'll see what we get to. No, I've never done a self-portrait. I'm actually going to grab some plates. Go to the bathroom quickly as well. Take this one off. There we go. More plates. And then what are the colours going to be though? Probably some pastels. Pastels. I think that's the move. This is shocking. I've never seen... oh, yeah, sorry. Oh, click up here. Oh, that was nice. That was a good click. Oh, what a wonder child. Grab some more water. Gonna go to the bathroom quickly. I will be back right after I sneeze as well. Now let's go like this, and then I'm gonna go. That needs to be a little bit longer though. That's gonna be to refill this water bottle and do all these jobs. I'm gonna put it on this long. There we go. All right, you ready? Bump. All right, I will be back. One moment. Gonna drive to Atlanta, live out this fantasy. Yeah, I made it. I made it back in time, just in time. And does it disappear? I think it does disappear on its own. It does, doesn't it? Yeah, good, good, good. That's what we needed. Fantastic. All right. All right. Now, a little bit of coffee. Ba-da-beep-ba-boo-da-ba-ba. La-ba-dee-ba-da-ba-da-boo-da-ba. What I might do though, we'll keep ticking along. It'll be all good. But I should do this one now though. Let me just enjoy my little coffee. Here we go. Beautiful. All right. I'm gonna sit down for a moment and just enjoy. I'll just actually, so I can actually read these comments though. Turn that one and tilt it down. Imagine having a timer set to 30 minutes of just timer. I mean, you could, but I typically try and keep the timers as honest as possible, like as close to factual as you can have them. But yeah, I think what I'll probably do, because I haven't got unlimited devices, but I'll keep the time lapse on one, and then I'll have to keep uploading to TikTok. Because I've only got one really good camera, and so it's really helpful to keep that good camera for. There's that lid we lost before. For the live, which keeps the whole thing on high quality. So that one for that one for that, and then I've got my phone left over, which can do videos for the reels and for playing music off. Because when everything's recording, you can't play music. Which sometimes it's nice to chuck in an AirPod and just get a little bit of a bounce to your step. So this is all things. Anyway, plates. That was the one thing I need to get. I need to get some plates. I'm gonna get some plates. I'm gonna get some plates. Bada bing ba boom ba ba. Bada bing ba boom ba ba. Bada beep ba ba. Bada ba ba ba. Bada beep ba boom ba ba. I've got some plates. I've got some plates. I went and got some plates. Here we are. I've seen some streams that does play it, but I guess it can be tricky. Oh. I thought you were drinking your brush cleaning water. A lot of people say that. I swear I wasn't. Right. Okay. What is going to be... Hey, Christian, how you doing? Oh, welcome back, actually. I remember that name. Now, Kristen. Hello from England. Thanks, Suki. Appreciate you. Pastel colours. It's pastel. Yeah, it is sort of pastels. That is the right tones. So the same pastels we use on Abraham Lincoln are going to be what we use for the next layer of this one. Not straight away. We're going to finish up with that colour there, but these are good. I do need to go buy some paint though. That's a thing. Just got done working out. Good for you. Good on you for getting on out there and doing some exercise. I need to do that. I didn't go yesterday. Slack. So I have to go today. But I lost my gym card. That's niggly. So hopefully I can get... Cheers then, mate. I hope I can fix that tonight. I have to go in there and tell them I lost it. I'm always the guy who loses the gym card. That's me in a nutshell. I lose them. When is the next time you think you'll go live? Mason asking from YouTube. Next time I'll go live will be tomorrow around... Tomorrow around 10 a.m, maybe 9 a.m. So We usually do a sort of 9 to 5 painting session is typically the go. I want to do some evening sessions. I haven't done them yet. Once the studio's ungassed, we'll be able to do that sort of stuff and see where it takes us. But right now, daytime things are what we're up to. 46 seconds left, and then I will continue to paint. On phone, so just scan it with like a barcode. That's so good. That's so clever. I wish my gym was that cool. But my gym is cool. My keycard's all good, but that's some good technology. The timer's like my little smoko break. So when it goes off, I'll stand up and keep going. But that way I'm not looking at paint the whole time. You get time to actually unwind, take paint out of your vision for a moment, and then re-engage. That's what's going on here. And 2, 1, pow. Just take a picture of the card. If only it were that simple. If only it were that simple. But my card's just a white card, and the card itself doesn't look like anything, but it does act as a electronic thing that you scan and swipe. Is that red paint on my left shoulder? Yes, it is. Just up there. Well spot. Well spot. Trina, good idea. Yeah. If you are painting long hours too, though, guys, if you do like late night sessions and things, try and get like 2 minutes where you like just stop and have a stretch. You won't realize how much you need it until you have it, and then you'll be away. See ya, Ivan. Thanks for popping on in, Ivan. We'll catch you next time. The great, haven't caught one of your lives in a while. Good to see you. G'day, Wally White. Good to have you here. Yeah. They've been on at weird times, and that's made it tough for some people. And I've been getting a lot of flap from people about not uploading them to YouTube. So I'm trying to get them up onto YouTube at the moment, to make sure everyone's happy. Everyone is happy. There we go. Across the top of that hat. Then a bit of shrubbery here. Gonna drive to Atlanta. Wally White. Have I changed locations or have I put up curtains? I'm in the same building, but in a different room at the moment because I gassed out the other room with a bunch of gels as I was priming some surfaces, including this one. So that room's just airing out, and I'm working in the space for it at the moment. That is Abe Lincoln. That is a good guess. That is a good guess. Besides art, what is your favourite subject in school? I did art. So I did painting, sculpture, and design. And then I took English and drama. So probably drama was my favourite subject in school. Besides art. I would have gone painting, drama, sculpture, design, English. English was still nice, but it would be my least favourite. I'm glad I did English the whole way through though. That was important. English is important. So is maths actually, but there's only so many subjects you can take. Abe in the rain was just, oh jeepers, sorry Wally. It turned out really cool, but yeah, it did rain away, so that was a wild card. Are you going to add black in there, into this painting here? Probably not. I would let it stay saturated and poppy. I'll add darker shades in, but not black. Abe's got a lot of black in him, and black's a fun colour. It's a definer. So if you look at Abe's face, there's a huge amount of defining happening in it. Bang! This is where the lines are. This is where the cheeks are. This is where all the expression comes from. But in this painting, there's very little black, and so it has less definition and more feeling within the painting itself. This one lacks the definer tone, but gives into just raw environmental feeling. I like that. Thanks, Karen. Appreciate that. And thanks, Trina. All right. Oh me, oh my, oh. Where else are we going to go with this? There we go. And on to our pastel colours. That's where we want to go next. That's where we want to go next. We want to use these pastels. Very slay. All these lingo with the kids these days. Everyone's so hip. I love it. If only I was as hip as everyone else. I use words like cool, jeepers, oh dear, crikey. In fact, I remember very vividly when the first person said, I got to dip to me. And I was like, in my head, I was confused. I was like, dip in what? What are we dipping in? I was confused. And dip actually means to leave. I've got to leave. Of course, the other experience I had with dip, since hearing it in that sense, was in Dodgeball, the movie, which now no one's seen either. Whereas dip is when you avoid a dodgeball. Dodge, dip, duck, dive, and dodge. Dodge is in there twice because it's important. Hip. Hip means cool. What's hip these days? So you can't even say what's hip these days because saying hip's not cool anymore either. You got to say what slays these days, what slaps these days. You know, you got to try and figure out what word means cool these days. When I was in high school, the cool word was that's mud, or that's sick. Sick meant good, and mud meant bad. Like, having a mud day. If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball. That is true though, because the wrench will be significantly harder to dodge. So, if you got the hang of avoiding that spinning, flying metal object, a ball's going to be a walk in the park. Like, I understand where he's coming from in that sense. Oh me, oh my, oh. Would you look at Miss Ohio? She's running around with her rag top down. What country did hip come from? I'm not sure. All I've got to add to that conversation is New Zealand's got a politician called Chris Hipkins, but I'm not sure that's the origin of the term hip. In fact, I'm not sure Hipkins is very hip at all. Nice guy, not hip. So, can't be much help in this case. Hip was from the 1960s. Was that when hip replacements were all the rage? You'd be like, look at Margaret, she's 85 and she is just looking hip. A brand new hip replacement, she's walking around without needing a walker for short distances. Now that's impressive. Thanks TX, appreciate you. Oh me, oh my, oh. Would you look at Miss Ohio? She's running around with a rag top down. I really want to do right. Not right now. Gonna drive to Atlanta. Live out this fantasy. That's where the word hippie came from. What, for like a hip replacement? What are you doing this weekend, Margaret? I'm getting a hippie. Maybe. Could be. Might be. Should be. Who knows? Bada bing ba 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 ba. Get that in there. Branch that over there. There we go. Across the top. Cool, cool, cool. Cheers, Steve. All right. All right. Okay, guys, I'm going to do something quite cheeky now. YouTubers, because the color's so wildly off, I'll upload the version from TikTok onto YouTube anyway. But I'm going to cut the live now because then I can put in my AirPod and listen to Kit more, which is so rude of me to do. I know that you guys are fantastic, but if you want to keep catching the live, jump onto TikTok because that one will still be here. Alamar, I'm so sorry. I've never heard of that name before, so I'm not going to let you go mutual joining on the old live. 30 is correct. Thanks, guys. What happened to the other painting, Seb? I'm not quite sure, but I'll see you later, guys. Get rid of that one there.